Mm. Hmm. Monday. Monday. I sure love Mondays, am I right? Or am I right? Who here loves Mondays? Welcome, Wow, wow. Holy. Welcome in, Miss Mellon. All right, there we go. There we go. Hmm. There were quite a bit of thoughts I wanted to share. A bunch of normal stuff that a lot of people complain about, I guess. So, don't expect anything profound at all. Uh, no, it's just, a lot of people talk about how difficult mentally it is to be a small streamer. And I had given, I've talked about this before, and it's true. Like it is very mentally taxing to sit in front of nobody and think you have a shot when there are quite literally millions of people competing with you. Because let's be frank here, it's an easy out on paper. On paper, it's an easy out, right? Doesn't require any schooling. Hardly requires very much infrastructure. Very little money. I mean, obviously outside of like a lot of people start streaming just on their phone. You know, so I mean, it's a very low buy-in and pretty simple in premise. Very little physical effort. The biggest thing is obviously just getting started. And I have so many plans and so many things I want to do. And so I am not short of any motivational circumstance. I don't really know the word. I'm very mentally exhausted right now. I'm not even tired. Like I'm not sleepy. I'm just like my brain is fried. Um and so my words might not be so correct. Um I don't know. It's just days like today where, and for many of us, we have a job. We go to work, right? We go to work, spend 8, 10, maybe even 12 hours for some of us. Some of us has multiple jobs, some of us just have one really ridiculous one. Um Customer service always sucks ass, of course. That is quite emotionally draining. Trying to just interact with people all day would be horrible. Then of course you have trade jobs like what I do, very physically taxing. Although again, my trade isn't that physically taxing, more so on the mental side. I have so many things I want to do, so many goals, so many dreams, and they're all quite large, um, in scale. I 100% believe all of them are possible. I could achieve them. Uh, but it's all, of course, a big gamble, just like what I'm doing now. Um, I'm essentially relying on the support. I mean, any big dream you're gonna need support from outside people, right? But when it comes to streaming and content creation, your entire foundation is support and validation from outside people to an extent, right? Whether it's literal monetary support, which is really arguably the biggest one when it comes to why people do this. That's not necessarily why I'm doing it. It is definitely a factor because it's something that I will certainly utilize to accomplish my dreams. Um, but it really is more so for me on the people side. And so to do things like this, your entire foundation is relying entirely on other people to support you, both emotionally and monetarily. And I think that's what makes it so difficult for smaller creators. For a lot of smaller creators, they have literally no one to back them, no emotional nor monetary support. They're giving all of their mental RAM, and for some of them, even a lot of physical money. I'm spending money so that I can free up my own mental RAM to put back into this. What am I spending that money on? Well, clips. I pay a pretty good amount for edited, quality clips. I actually like my clips. Some people might think, whatever they want to think. I like my clips. I think they're good. I think they're very well edited. Um, and so I'm willing to pay for them, and so I do. Yeah, see, I think they're hilarious. I think my clips from thanks shout out to my editor, by the way. There's a reason I let them put their little watermark on my end card, because I think they're a good artist and they deserve some recognition. So shout out to the editor. I think my clips are hilarious. I watch them back all the time. I might also just be a little weird because I actually don't mind listening to my own voice. I know. Relax. I know that's really rare and uncommon for a lot of people. I know a lot of people hate listening to their voice. I actually don't mind listening to it. I remember when I was younger, when I first started streaming, like the first few times I streamed back when I actually went and got affiliate, I would literally listen to my streams. I would just listen to my own streams. And I was like, damn, bro, I think more people should listen to me, bro. Just for my voice. But it was funny because I didn't talk very often in them. And back when I used to stream before, I would make my voice lower on purpose because I was younger. Now I don't obviously have to do that. I can just talk normally. In fact, very often I make my voice higher now just because it's funnier. But um, I'm getting way off topic. Basically, what I wanted to ultimately talk about is sources of motivation. I have no lack of that. Like, my goals are vast, unending, likely infinite. The horizon is infinite, and I will keep chasing it forever. And I set I set up my goals like that on purpose. I didn't want to have a finish line. Not that I'm constantly moving the goalpost in that sort of sense, but it's like essentially you climb one peak to see another one even farther off in the distance. That's even higher. And you just keep that going. You just climb higher and higher peaks off into the horizon until you get to the moon, whatever, Like the whole point was to set myself an incompletable journey so that I enjoy the journey, right? There's that, common quote right there, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I think it's both. So I just simply set multiple destinations. But of course, the ultimate goal is unreachable for that very reason. I'll have many, as in Maney, wait, no, sorry, Manymini. So many destinations, but the ultimate one is infinite. So, uh, wow, that's an interesting way to put that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, many destinations on the way to the infinite horizon that I will never reach, and that is by design. I call it the unmovable boulder, where It's a reference to, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but it's a reference to uh, a main character in my book, um, where when he's young, one of his mentors, as a final task, he's set to, his task is to move a boulder with his mind because they have like telekinesis and stuff. It's a long story. It's actually way more in depth. If I tried to talk about it now, we'd be here for literal days. It's an entire universe. I've built the whole thing from scratch. Anyways, not important. So one of his mentors set a boulder for him to pick up, and ultimately, this is a massive spoiler. So for anybody in the future watching this video, anybody watching this clip, this is a massive spoiler, okay, for my books if I ever actually publish them, which I hopefully will. That's one of my goals. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. I'm not going to go into super detail. Hold on, just plug your ears, okay? I'm not going to go into super detail. It's just like a concept, right? So that boulder, when he's young, he fails to pick it up, and then like hundreds of years later, when he's at his peak of power, he comes back, to reminisce at his old childhood places, right? And he finds that boulder. He had completely forgotten about it. He finds it, and he finds he still cannot lift it. I'm just gonna stop there. Okay. Anything beyond that is up to you. That's still, yes, that's a spoiler, but it's a very vague one, so hopefully it doesn't, whatever. But the whole point is like, even when he comes back at his peak, he still can't lift it. And so he learns from that. Yeah, I know. I'm being very, very vague. I know. I'm being very vague. But and that's actually a good point. To everybody watching, I would love to talk about my books with y'all. That would be something that I think I could actually build a really good community on. Yeah. Well, I have timestamps and I could probably go to court and shit, but like, dude, I have timestamps, I have dates, I have everything, dude. Like, if someone tried to steal it, I'd be like, bro, I wrote this shit like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I wrote this shit, They're stealing my work, whatever. And then I would also pull up the stream where I was talking about it, and like, clearly they stole my work, whatever. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to risk it. And so, unfortunately, I can't build a community off of world building in my books, which would be really fucking awesome. But y'all are just gonna have to wait till I publish it. Yeah. Y'all are just gonna have to wait. Once I publish them, then yeah, sure, I'll talk about it all day long. Then nobody can steal it. But that's why I don't talk about it. I'd love to. There's been multiple occasions where I wanted to talk about it, but I can't because there's people out there that would steal it and publish it, like use like AI and publish it before I could, and it would just be a whole mess. So unfortunately not. But the whole premise is there's this boulder, he finds out he still can't move it, um and that's like my philosophy with goals. When are you going to publish it? The first book is done. The first book is done. Like, I could publish it right now. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until I finish the first series. Because I want to make sure that it's all coherent. Because I find that as I'm writing, I world build as I write. Because I keep coming up with new ideas as I'm writing it out. And so I want to get through the whole first series. And then, go back and make sure that there's no missing or like conflicting world building elements, right? How many books are in a series? In the first series, there's going to be 7. Or in the first arc, not series, because the series is really long. Sorry, the first arc of the first series. So there's like multiple sections of the series. The first section is 7 books. The whole series is like 20 something, and I already have it all planned out. It's very in depth. It's very in depth. So it would be very hard for someone to copy it. Like, don't get me wrong, it would be very hard for someone to copy it. And even if someone did copy it, I'd still be able to publish it with more detail and actually have the entire world building behind my back and have it in my brain so nobody could keep up with me. But again, I'm not gonna risk that. So we're just not gonna do that. We're just gonna wait. So I'm gonna get the first like arc, the first character arc done. And then I'm gonna slowly roll them out like every couple months. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna write the second one, and then so on and so forth. It'll be a pattern. So once I get the first series out, I'm thinking by then I'll have a decent following. So I'll actually have some advertisements. So I'll be able to pull maybe a couple doubloons from that, so I can help fund the next series to make it even better. Maybe get a cool I don't know. I've always liked the idea of having like a nice, like really quality, plain colored leather cover with like gold text on it. Like an old type, like an old kind of what do you even call that? Like an old vibe book, like nothing with like super fancy colors on it. Like literally just a leather cover with some gold text engraved into it. Like that's what I want the vibe to be. So it's like when you pick up this book, you're literally picking up a text from like another war, like another time. So that's kind of the whole thing. Anyways, that's not important. It's not important. I'm getting distracted now. Um, the point is the boulder, right? So that's kind of the philosophy that I use for my goals, right? They're unmovable, right? I use it to motivate myself to get, stronger. And obviously that translates to me, you know, accomplishing more, getting, more knowledge in certain areas, getting more efficient in certain areas, just more in tune with myself and my projects and all that, like those kind of things. And maybe even literally physically getting stronger in the gym, right? It's another goal. I've been slacking on that, but that's okay. Um, but there's many destinations on the way to the infinite horizon. They kicked you out. I know. I wore fucking slides today, and the gym is all of a sudden really cracking down on those, and they didn't let me in. So I just sat in my car while Miss Mellon did her workout because I was so mad. I was so mad. I didn't even drive home to get my shoes. I was like, fuck it, bro. By the time I get back, I'm gonna have like 25 minutes left. So I just sat there. Yeah, yeah, and then there were like 10 other people in the gym with fucking slides on, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Whatever, dude. I just went and sat in my car. I said, fuck it, bro. I'm gonna end my subscription soon, bro. I hate that gym so much. I've hated it. Like literally the only reason I go is because that's the only gym that Miss Mellon can go to right now. Uh, and so I was like, okay, fine, I'll get a sub there, but oh my god, it's so bad. These guys are so trash. Yeah. Are you the bluest melon? Well, I'm the only one. I'm the one and only, dude. What kind of question is that? um, oh my god, I keep getting distracted. I'm sorry, bro. Like, okay. So I have many goals and I have many things I want to do. That's not my limit. Like that's not what's limiting me. But there are days like this. Maybe it's just just basic human emotion, right? Maybe it literally there's not any cause and effect. It's just it's Monday, right? It's Monday and you know, emotional whatever. It's just bringing me down. It's a sad day, I guess, right? Maybe there's nothing literally causing it, but today I was pretty freaking uh down. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't even want to hit live. I didn't want to do anything. That's why I wanted to play a chill game. But then now they want to play Siege. So that's why I started streaming now. So I could kind of get this all out. So if we do end up playing Siege, I'll be good. Um, so that's kind of why I'm here, just talking about it. Trying to get myself worked back in. No, I look, bro, I don't mind playing Siege. I just need it. I don't think, to be fair, bro, I don't think there was any game that we could play where I'd be like in it if I didn't start just talking about this. Cause man, I almost I almost said no today. But at the same time, today at lunch, I had watched I just watched this video about Jinxie's come up, right? Because it popped in my For You. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Let's see the history of this guy, because I always talk about him. I always say, hey, the only thing I knew about him was that he streamed for 2 years at 5 viewers. TikTok. But that's what I heard was, oh, he streamed average 5 viewers 2 years. And I'm thinking, damn, bro, how did you do that? How did you do that? And and I feel like, no hate to him, but I feel like I'm not entirely misplaced to say that it might have been slightly easier because he was doing it full time from the get go, and he had that support from his family from the get go. But of course, that I don't want that to dismiss. Like, he put in the time. He put in the time. He grinded, and he got through, which arguably was the hardest part and is still the hardest part of streaming, is starting with almost nobody. Right? He had his family behind him. A lot of people don't, but that's still not to dismiss what he did. He pushed through 2 years of like 5 viewers. And so it was or it is, I thought it was cool. So I watched the video, and that pretty much was the gist, right? So he streamed for 2 years at an average of 5, and then some guy, or he grew slowly over time. After that, I think for like a year, and then like a clip blew him up, and he started posting on TikTok, and he just shot to the top and whatever. Funny as hell guy. He deserves to be where he's at, okay? Not knocking him at all. But I always want to premise the fact, or bring up the fact that, he was doing it full time from the get go. He had some family to help back him up the whole time. He didn't have a second job or anything. And does that give me an excuse to like just not show up on some days? Oh, guys, my day was so tough. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. And that's kind of why I'm sitting here, just talking, because I was talking to myself before I hit stream, and I thought, why don't I just share this? This is the whole point of being a content creator is, sharing your journey, letting people be a part of it, so that they have a reason to invest their time and sometimes even their money into your cause. And so I figured the only way to do that is just tell people what my cause is, and in the journey to get here, right? So this week starts the 19th week of me streaming consistently, or at least mostly consistently. There was 1 week where I only did like one day, but that was because I was gone. What is my cause? Well, I was kind of getting to that, and I kept getting distracted. And now there's a bunch of fucking omnoms in chat that are throwing me off. But that's cool. Um, what is my cause? That's a great question, Zamoku. Thank you for asking. Many things. There's many things I want to do. A lot of which are personal, and then a lot of which are pretty much worldwide changes that I want to make, or at least be a part of. Maybe not do it all myself, of course, but should just either spearhead or be a major player in. This was kind of a thing I was talking to myself about before I went on stream, is how many people our generation, we just want out. We just want an out. And that's probably why so many people are like trying streaming, trying content now. They're just desperately clawing to get out of this fucked system that we're in, right? So many of us are just doing any little thing we can to just get out. We don't want to be a part of it anymore. And I think a lot of us are right for that. I mean, what exactly were we fighting for, For us in America, the American dream is gone. The American dream is completely gone. Our country is falling apart from the inside. Two sides are, stabbing at each other constantly. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal. It doesn't matter to me, bro. At the end of the day, we're all fucking people. I I don't care, man. It's just all it is conflict, and it pisses me off. And I'm not going to be the one to fix that. Of course, I'm not. Many people have tried, and it's human nature. And I want to be a trash panda. Be a little raccoon. Yeah, it's just human nature to conflict and whatever. I mean, is there a way to help it? I think you could over tens, maybe hundreds of years of social conditioning. Not in like a let me clarify what I mean by that. I don't mean like brainwashing or anything. No, no. Like I'm talking like just better education is really the crux of it all. More accessible education that is more accurate to reality, fact, than someone else's story. You know, not the winner's tale, but literally just the objective truth. Jeez. Um, but that's something I want to help with. Obviously, I can't do that now. That's kind of like the end goal is to set up a system where um I could maybe even found my own, Melon Academy. I know that would be crazy. Imagine in the future, bro, the Melon Academy, um, where I teach essentially, dude. In order to get to that point, though, I'd have to kind of master my own philosophy and like what I, you know, how to back it up and just make a melon store. Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to do, man. I mean, it's literally infinite. I'm gonna start with this. I want to make a content empire as like my advertising campaign for everything I do in the future, whether it's my artistic um outlets like books, maybe I learn to draw, maybe I do more pixel art, maybe I learn, to make music. Maybe I could be a musician one day, like there's a lot of artistic things I want to do. I want to learn to be a musician. I want to learn to compose and maybe even sing or rap. I don't know, like do something. Maybe I really could be the next Michael Jackson. No, no. And that's that's another thing, bro. I don't want to be the next anybody. I hate that. I don't want to be the next anybody. I want to be the first me, the one and only, right? We could sing together. Yeah, true. True. We could have our own little band. The lads of the band. Oh, Jesus, man. Hey, I can play bass, bro. Well, at least I would try. I can kind of play it right now, but obviously later I would definitely go and master it. I'd really try to master that. Um, yeah, dude, there's so much I want to do. I want to start with content, obviously. This is the start of it all. Am I trying to get funding from this? Absolutely. Absolutely. But why? Well, one, to support myself so that I can stop doing my 9 to 5, so that I can free up my time to put it into my goals. Right now, I am dishing out anywhere from 8 to 10 hours on average every single day from, getting up in the morning and driving to and from work, the 8.5 hours that I'm at work, and then, so it's anywhere from like 8 to 10 hours a day that I'm just giving to somebody else's dream of owning their company, right? I'm helping somebody else get rich for 10 hours a day and getting compensated for hardly any of my own worth, if that makes sense. Because, like, companies, they don't pay you for your full worth. If they paid you for your full worth, they'd be breaking even constantly. And so they have to scrape a little bit off the top. And so you're never actually getting your full worth for the hours that you work. That's just how companies work. They have to. They have to. They would never make profit if they didn't do that. But some companies are way worse than others. I think my company it's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. There's a reason I still work there. I love the people there. They're awesome. Um, and all that. But, they're not the best. Obviously, they have a lot of problems, as do many companies. But That's getting way outside of the fucking, you know. But I want to use this as my out, obviously, as many other people do. But I have more of a purpose, I feel like, for it. Yes, I would use some of the money to support myself so that I could get all of that time back. Once I have all that time back, then I can use it to, work on art, books, music, literal artwork, drawing, pixel art, whatever. Anything I want to do, side projects, maybe finish out my calculator app that I made online. There's actually a website called Melon Calc that it's a work in progress. It's in its alpha stage. Basically, it's just a proof of concept. There's like a few calculators on there that you can use. It's very, I don't even know if it works. Like, to be completely honest, I don't even know if it works. It was just a proof of concept, but it's there. It's online. Like, you can look it up. Melon Calc. But yeah, I made that. Maybe I could use the time to finish coding that, and really get that to work. Make my own Blue Melon website, put all my stuff on there, and really start going. Um, once once I'm well established as a creator on here, I've got, a full editor team for YouTube. Hopefully I'll have the same TikTok editor, because they're great. I'll keep them. Maybe I'll have a YouTube editor to just take the VOD, so I don't even have to think about that. Um, the content will just get better and better. And then I'll start getting into more IRL stuff, start sharing more of my actual progress. Um, and really that's what it'll transition to. Like, yeah, I'll still do games and stuff with the lads, right? But like, I'd probably dedicate maybe like the weekends, or not the weekends, but like, just because I could do it any day. Now that I think about it, I'll just dedicate a few days a week to just show, like, all right, here's where Melon Corp is at, IRL stuff with the lads. Exactly. I'd have enough money. Well, we'd have enough money to, fly around, uh, hang out, do cool stuff. Again, like I said, I would dedicate a few days to show, how Blue Melon Corp is coming along, my actual corporate empire, and what I'm doing, uh, to get, advice, input from people, how they're feeling about it. Ghost investigating. There you go. As far as what Blue Melon Corp is going to do, what its mission is, well, it's to start giving back that American dream, right? Obviously, I live in America, United States of America. Yippee, yippee! You can tell my enthusiasm with the current state of the board right now. But because there is no American dream right now, it's fucking gone. It's in the toilet, flushed away. We don't get it. Gone. So that's really kind of the big thing that I want to do is put that dream back into people's pockets, back into their hands, that they can actually achieve it. How am I going to do that? Well, um, biggest thing is logistics. I have to figure out very complex logistics for materials and manufacturing. So I need to get that down first and foremost. Everything will come after that. Once I get material handling, logistics, and infrastructure and manufacturing up and running, then I can start building homes for, like, actual quality homes using my own materials for dirt cheap so that people can actually afford them. And when I say dirt cheap, it ain't gonna be no crappy little hut, man. Like, it's like I said, I get all the logistics first, all the materials, all the manufacturing, all of that. And so while I'm building that up, I'll just sell materials to other companies, whatever, until I'm up to a point where I can just divert all those materials into my own projects, build my own homes, give that dream back to my generation. Oh, wait, we can actually afford homes now, right? I'd put competition into the market. They'd probably try and kill me for it, but that's that's fine. I'll have my own entire security company that'll just dedicate their entire existence to keeping me alive, because a bunch of CEOs are probably going to try and kill me. But that's cool. But yeah, I'll put competition back into the housing market as I build and sell houses for extremely cheap, but actual good quality homes. basically bringing it down to what they should be, the cost that they should be, not to what they are. Because right now it's ridiculous. It's all speculative. It's literally the housing has just entered the speculative market, and it's just ridiculous. It's all just gambling now. Like you could just buying a house is like a fucking, I don't know, dude. It's so stupid. There's no point anymore. And so that's one thing I want to do. Another thing, I actually talked about this in a different stream, is cars. I want to make a new car, the freaking Melon Mobile, bro. The freaking absolute gamer mobile that is the Melon car. And this is a concept that I don't think will work, but it's something I want to at least try. There's probably a reason no manufacturer has ever actually accomplished this, but we'll give it a shot. I want to be able to have like compartmentalized like engines that you can like literally like just put together. And so you can have like any configuration. There's a lot. I've thought about it pretty extensively, and there's like a lot of things that need to go into that, which make it really complicated. So maybe it's just a stupid idea, but I think it would be fun if I could figure it out. Nice little brain puzzle for me. But even if that fails, I still want to make cars. You know, I still want to make the Melon car so that people can actually afford cars instead of a $100,000 truck that you're gonna use as a grocery getter. Like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? you know, car market is horrible. Housing market's horrible. That's two things I want to target. Um, yeah, dude, get a grocery store going. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like logistics. If we master logistics first, everything after that is a piece of cake. Maybe not a piece of cake, but like it would be a lot easier. Because then we have our own logistics already. We're not going to be bottlenecked by anybody else who's trying to cut us off. Like we have our own pipeline for everything. We figure that out, boom, we can do anything. Yeah, like Legos. Yeah, I've talked about it before. Put the engine together like Legos. That's something I want to do. Um, like if you wanted to throw a turbo on there, you just get a melon manifold, boom, clip it on there, clip the thing on. Well, the start of learning would be, yeah, energy drinks, bro. That's like the first thing. And I just want to do that for fun. That's just like a silly little idea I had. And I was like, fuck it, why not? Everybody's making energy drinks. Why not? Fuck it. Fuck it, man. Go for it. That's just a little thing. I mean, that's not even a small speck of the grand scheme of things. The lad's energy, exactly, bro. Melon juice, man. Melon juice. Hell yeah. That's what I'm gonna call it. You want some melon juice? Spelled M-A or M-E-L-Y-N. That's right. Oh, dude, the cans are gonna look so sick, bro. We're gonna put some like art on there. Anyways. Yeah, housing, food, materials, cars. I want to get into energy, maybe even develop my own uh manufacturing process for making really high power solar panels that work really well and capture a higher band of wavelength. They already have those invented, but they're having a hard time mass producing it. If they don't do that by the time I get up there, maybe I can figure something out for them. I feel like the energy industry somewhat plays nice from what I gather. Like, obviously, there's still, you know, back and forth between clean and nasty energy, whatever. It is what it is. But for most of it, like, energy companies, they all just kind of share each other's technology, I feel like, after a while. I might be completely wrong, but from the little research I did when I was trying to design my own solar panel, when I was obsessed for that for exactly 2 weeks, I was trying to design a new solar panel. I got pretty far, but then I realized that everybody just kind of uses the same thing. Like all of the companies just use like the same thing for solar panels, and I'm like, well, okay, so I'd have to design something to fit their frames, the universal solar panel frame. So I started going down that rabbit hole, and then And then I figured, okay, well, now the actual problem isn't manufacturing these things, it's the wafers, the solar wafers that actually capture the light. So then I tried figuring out a way to like mass produce those, and it's a whole thing. They're working on it. Let's just say that. Energy companies are working on it. Very efficiently, probably not, but they're working on it. Dude, I can actually pull up. I have it all fucking planned out. I have I have an entire spreadsheet here. Another spreadsheet, guys. I know. My fucking spreadsheets, dude. Let me see here. Got a whole freaking spreadsheet, bro. I've got a whole folder in my drive called Blue Melon Corp. Let's see. Hierarchy? Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I'm gonna have a Blue Melon Corp is gonna be like the main holding for every other little subsidiary company and all that. We're gonna have construction, finance, uh, motors for cars and stuff, energy, good yoinks. I want to bring back good yoinks. Only the most OG, only the closest know what good yoink. Um, Fax knows what good yoinks is. He's not here right now, but Good Yoinks Incorporated. I'm gonna make that. That's what I want to do is use Good Yoinks Incorporated as like my fashion brand. Like something like Supreme or like Gucci. Like something like along that line. Obviously, it wouldn't be anything like them. I think that's a stupid brand thing. Everything is expensive. It would not be expensive. It's just like a brand. Good Youngs, right? That's like my clothing, branded stuff like that. And so it'd be like Blue Melon in partnership with Good Yoinks Inc. And then make like merch and cool stuff like that, trinkets, all that. Um, and then of course you got technology, biotech, security, resources, utilities. And then I even, bro, this is way down the line. I actually completely forgot about this, but I even wanted to make a nonprofit like foundation that all it does is research, um, like literally all it does is I dump money in. Basically it's a money incinerator, and all it does is try to figure out, longevity, curing, aging, and all that kind of stuff, and as well as figuring out logistics to make a Dyson swarm. I'm not going to be the one to build it, but basically their job is to figure out all the logistics and how you would build it, how you'd launch it, and then essentially sell those plans for not that much to a company that's actually set up to do it. But if there is no company that's set up to do it, obviously Blue Melon Corp would expand in order to build the logistics in order to do it. I might as well just do it myself, but I want to, other people the opportunity to help out the cause. A lot of you probably don't know what a farm is. Basically, a mega structure of solar panels. For essentially, they're like solar panels that just float around the sun. Although they wouldn't actually be solar panels. I'm not going to get it. Oh, I got quieter because I pushed my mic away on accident. My bad. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot going on here, man. Um, yeah, yeah. There's a lot, man, and I have the hierarchy set and everything. I've got the level one, which is the parent company, which is Blue Melon Corp, as well as the Blue Melon Foundation. And then I have the second levels, which is what I just listed, the construction, finance, motors. And I even have level 3, which are owned by the second level, which you have like electrical, plumbing, HVAC, um, uh, insurance, banking stuff, manufacturing, automotive, um, quantum computing stuff, wellness stuff, so much. There's so much. It's ridiculous. It would probably end up in the future being one of, if not the biggest corporation in existence. And its entire objective would be just competing with everybody and just bringing down prices. They would literally try to nuke my shit. I'm not even kidding. They would literally try to nuke my shit. They're going to try and kill me. Like, that's almost guaranteed at this point. Just with the amount of competition that I'm going to give them. Because my entire thing is just upsetting the game that it stands right now because it's fucking stupid. Like, what is going on, bro? We're on a freight train barreling into a nothingness. We're gonna just go off a cliff. Like, the way our world is set up right now, the governments and everything, we are just on a one-way trip to the nothingness of abyss and doom and despair. And they don't care to stop it. They're not even slowing it down. They're not even slowing it down. We're all just gonna go off the cliff. Call me a pessimist, but like, they're not even trying. They're not even trying. They're actually just making it worse. They're legit just making it worse. I cannot even begin to state my I just hate policy. I hate the policy that we have now. What is my solution? I'm not getting into that. That would be a politics stream, and I'm not going to put on that notification or that little setting there. Maybe for another time, but holy shit, bro. Everything, it's just bad, bro. It's just bad. The whole point, my whole goal, the whole point of Blue Melon Corp is to guh. The whole point of Blue Melon Corp is to give the American dream back to the American people and make things affordable and to help Gen Z and later generations not be fucked in the ass by gas prices and other things and other included things. Yo, Captain Fax Machine, you remember Good Yoinks Incorporated? Oh, these ads. If only you were subscribed. If only you were subscribed, L lad. I can't believe this. L lad. They completely got rid of me for ad space. Yeah, I did. That's the sucky part of a dude. I hate ads on Twitch, bro. Like, at least on YouTube, it pauses your video. On Twitch, bro, it's just interrupt. Like, you're just missing the stream. You're just missing the stream. It's gone. Like, you have to pay rent first. Wait, can't you like skip the ads if you're in mod view? Oh, yo, that's cool. Freaking Clanker in my chat. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, man, I love Clankers in my chat, bro. Yo, thanks, Fax. Stupid ass Clankers, bro. I swear. So after I save up 10 grand, yo, what is your rent, bro? Oh my goodness. Anyways, I asked you, hey, do you remember Good Yoinks Incorporated? Because that's going to be one of the little mini companies I make that's in partnership with Blue Melon Incorporated or Blue Melon Corporation. Good Yoinks Incorporated. I was saying how only the OGs know that one. 950. That's actually not bad. I was gonna say that's crazy, but I mean that's not great. It shouldn't be that much, but hey, and that's something I'm gonna fix, bro. Like, or not fix, but at least compete against. You know, put some money back into people's pockets, bro. And one of my goals, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get this to work, but one of my goals, like one of my utmost, like literally, I don't even know how to explain. Like, this is just something that I'm going to do everything in my power to do. Anybody that works for Blue Melon Corp, anybody that works for me, is going to be paid at least like they will be able to. I'm basically going to base it off of average housing in the area that they're at, plus average food cost for the area. Like basically, I'm going to regionalize it. So if you live in one area, I'm it's really hard. There's so many things that you have to worry about. Because if you pay people by area, then someone over here is going to be complaining that they're getting paid less than the guy over here who lives in like New York or some shit. So there's obviously that problem. And so I don't have it all completely figured out right now. That is very far in the future. But essentially what I'm going to try extremely, extremely hard to do is just make sure people get fucking paid, bro. Like like paid a good amount for give them the maximum compensation for the time that they're giving me. Right? Again, like I said earlier, just as a company, it would be impossible to pay people exactly what they are worth because then the company would just be breaking even constantly and never grow. So obviously, as a company, you do have to scrape the top off, but I would try to put as much into the pockets of the people that I'm working with. So what does that mean? For example, I'm an electrician, right? An average third-year electrician based off of the IEC wages is like 25 something based on the schooling that I'm in, right? So, average 25. I would pay a third year like 28 plus. Like just always more, just always more. 28 plus. Like I wouldn't even settle at 28, bro. Like if they walked in third year, I'm thinking, okay, first of all, when it comes to electrical and when it comes to like labor and stuff, it completely comes down to their actual physical skill. If they claim they're a third year, and maybe they even are a third year, but if they just did their first year 3 times, what do I mean by that? They never learned anything after their first year. They just got stuck doing the same thing for a whole year over and over again. And so there's a difference between being 3 years and doing your first year 3 times. That's what me and my coworkers often say. And so obviously you have to take that into consideration. Yeah, laboring costs vary a lot. It's kind of a poor example to use trades because trades are very hard to pinpoint a good cost because there are so many variables. There are so many variables. How fast does someone work? How intelligent are they? Like when they're on the job, can they solve problems? Are they good at troubleshooting? Are they, especially when it comes to electrician work, you got to be able to troubleshoot. If you can't troubleshoot, you're cooked. Got to be able to troubleshoot. You got to be able to do stuff. You got to be able to think. What if y'all just become squirrels? That would be awesome. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Unfortunately, that is outside of my capabilities as a human being. Um, Laboring by hour is how corporate does it. And that's another thing. I don't want to just do by hour because by hour incentivizes people to work slower. And so you kind of have to do like a combination of you have a minimum amount, right? You have like a salary, right? As your minimum. But you factor in, of course you factor in overtime, right? Essentially what I want to do is have a salary set up for a standard 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. That's your salary. If you miss a couple days, whatever, I don't care. Like as long like to me, bro, I don't care if you missed like 5 weeks out of the year. If you are making the company a sizable amount of money, like bro, do your thing, bro. Like, obviously you want to be a team player. You don't want to be the guy that like shows up whenever the fuck he wants, leaves his people hanging, you're being a dickhead, whatever, just because you're really good. No, fuck that. Like I said, there are so many variables, and that's why I said trade work was kind of a horrible example, because that's probably the most complicated thing to tackle, because there's just too much. Like my time as a professional mechanical engineer, and you are paid differently for each job depending on how the contract works, even though you have a set salary. Yeah. So yeah, you would have a set salary based off of your skill and your time, right? Um, but in order to counteract the people that will take off 5 weeks, fuck off and not do anything for half the day and then lock in for like the last 2 hours and do everything for the day. And it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but you're not being a team player. It's important to be a team player. If you're not elevating your team and you're soloing it, you're like fucking Warden out here, not setting up site. What the fuck are you doing? And so, you got to be a team player. And in order to counteract the people who are just lazy and don't want to do anything for half the day. Yeah, Warden not reinforcing mention. It's just, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. If you're a Warden guy and if you're an IRL Warden and you're not team playing, bro, you're not setting up site, you're not, helping out your team, you're useless. It doesn't matter how fucking efficient you are. If you're not helping your team, bro, you're gonna go. Like, like that kind of person I'd put on service, to be fair. Like, if there's a dude who's just not a team player, but he's really fucking good, and he's just a dickhead, I'm gonna put him on service. I'm gonna put him in a truck and just say, all right, go shoo, go do your thing. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. He'd be happy as a clam. Like he'd be chilling, bro. And then I'd find people that actually are team players and put them in there. But in order to counteract as best as possible those people, is you have incentives for more efficient work. What I mean by more efficient, I'm not saying work faster. That doesn't necessarily mean better. Efficiency is the total sum. I don't know if it would be the total function of your speed and your accuracy, right? Because if you're really fast, but you fuck everything up, your actual efficiency is really low, because you have to go back and fix it. If you're really slow, but your accuracy is really high, your efficiency is actually pretty decent. Now, if you're able to do both, then obviously you're just a perfect worker, but that's not realistic. I mean, some people can do that, but it's not very often that you find someone that can. And so you give incentives based off of efficiency, not speed, not just accuracy, because someone can be perfectly accurate but then spend an entire day making up one junction box with like 3 wire nuts. Like, someone could spend all day doing one tiny little task and just doing it absolutely perfectly. That doesn't do anything for anybody. So you have to do both. You have to have efficiency, or you have to have speed, and you have to have accuracy, and that together is efficiency. And so you have incentives set in place for efficiency. If someone is extremely efficient, they get bonuses. If they're not efficient, they don't get like penalties, but they're just not going to get the bonuses. Like they'll get their salary as long as they're doing what their salary requires of them. Doesn't matter. I'm the kind of person, I hate being forced to do overtime. Like overtime's great, and I know a lot of people love overtime. I don't care for it. I do not care for it. I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather be streaming and doing my own thing and setting up my own future than doing overtime. Do I get an extra couple bucks? I guess. But the time that I could invest in myself instead is going to compound infinitely more than the money that I'm going to get doing overtime. And for the people who don't have really, all that internal vigor to, chase dreams and all that and invest in themselves, like some people just don't really care for all that, and they just want to, have a nice job and a nice little home and whatever. And that's what I'm doing all this for. I'm the guy who wants to build the world. But then there's you need people to just live in it, right? Not everybody can be an architect, right? Not everybody can develop the entire world together. You got to have people that live in it, That's what a majority of people should be. And if you're a guy who just wants to just work, go home, chill with the fam, whatever, like, okay, they probably like overtime. Well, yeah, puts a little bit extra money in there, Um, and so like I think overtime's great. Overtime has been nice since no tax on overtime was implemented last summer. I agree. It was meant as a way to boost your paycheck for extra hours, not just extended regular hours. Exactly. Yeah. It should, and that's the thing, bro. As someone in the electrical trade, a lot of big electrical companies, like they're just always doing overtime. Like they're just always doing overtime. Just 12 hours a day, every single day for every single job. It doesn't even matter what it is. Doesn't matter the profit margin. They're just 12 hours a day every day. And I worked for a company, like I was lended out to a company during a slow period for my own. Uh, we were lended out to a slightly bigger company, and they were doing 12s every single day at this one job. And what I saw was that people were doing the same work that they would do in an 8-hour day, but spread out. Because what they would do is they were visibly slower during the normal 8 hours, but as soon as it hit clock out time, like 3:30, or sometimes even 2:30, because some of us would come in at 6. As soon as it hit 2:30, they would spend the rest of their day just finishing up what they were working on during the 8 hours previously. That's what I saw. And so I look at that and I go, what is the point of overtime? What is the point? I don't get it, you know. And in some cases, like for my company, we don't put overtime in the bid. And so if the contractor, like the general contractor, wants overtime from us, they'll pay that. Like they'll pay that out of their pocket. And so our company doesn't really suffer for it. Like we still suffer on the timeline if it gets dragged out for too long. But as far as like the overtime goes, typically the general contractor will actually pay for that if they wanted us to do that. But we hardly ever do overtime. And a lot of the people that work for us hate that. But I'm like, we don't, like, so I'm a foreman, right? I shouldn't be, but I am a foreman. Um, and as someone who leads jobs, I see how people work, right? I've been doing this for only 3.5 years. There's people with way more experience than me. But as someone who's been a foreman for about half a year, maybe more, I think a little more than that actually, almost a year probably. Um, it's very clear how people work. You give them overtime, they're gonna spread the same workout. They're, if they come in the day of and you tell them in the morning, hey, we're doing a 10 today, instantly for that whole day, they're just doing what they would usually do in 8, just paced out a little bit more to do 10. Overtime doesn't do anything. It does nothing, in my experience. Some people are really efficient and they use that time and they actually get some, you know, value out of it, and that's awesome. But it's just I don't see a point. Overtime's great, but that's where I'm saying instead of just throwing overtime at your problem, prevent the problem by paying for efficiency. You give someone a set salary that's based off of their experience, their execution, and their just general time, their experience, or I think I already said that, but their time, right? So, their okay, I should say their skill, their actual execution, utilizing that skill, and then their time, right? That's just the base, what they're paid for. If you see that someone's really good, give them a higher base pay. If someone's kind of so-so, okay, give them a decent pay, but keep your eye on them. You should be doing um what is it? Checkups? No, it's like reevaluations. You should be doing reevaluations all the time. You should constantly be checking on your people, not micromanaging, but you should be checking on your people. You need to know your people. Even smaller companies have trouble with this. They like the office, there's a complete there's a wall between the office and the field. There's a disconnect. There's no communication. Nobody knows each other. They don't know how people are doing. Um, but okay, yeah. You think it would help if overtime wasn't mandatory? I don't think it is. Like technically it's not. Companies will say it is, but it's technically not. But if you don't do it, since we're in Texas, they can just fire you. It's at will. We're an at will state. So if they don't like your hair, they can just fire you. Like, they don't have to have a reason to fire you. They just do. And so if you're denying overtime, they're like, "Oh, what? Why you doing? You're not dedicated to this company," and they fire you. They don't care. Especially big companies. Especially big companies. With my company, I well, this is debatable, honestly. They call me into question a lot, and it's getting annoying. But whatever. I've proven that I can work. Lawsuit retaliation is a viable lawsuit. It is, but you're gonna have a really hard time. You're gonna have a really hard time proving that, because it is an at-will state. They don't really have to give that much of a reason, and you would be claiming that it's retaliation, but it's like, how are you gonna prove that? Like, realistically, yeah, I mean, you could say, "Oh, I told them I didn't want to do overtime, and then they fired me." Okay, but like, how are you gonna prove that? But that's what I mean. Yes, you can sue, but you're in Texas, man. It's an at you. They can fire. They literally do not have to give you a reason. They can call you into the office and say, "Hey, man, we don't think you're a fit." They give you all the spiel. "Oh, we don't think you're a fit. We think, you would do much better in a different, whatever, so and so, whatever the jargon is for corporate bullshit." And then they let you go, and whatever. You're gonna now. You're out of a job. You're out of a job. You need to find one. Okay, you find one. Maybe you get yourself back on your feet, and now you're going to go to court? How are you going to prove these things? Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. Uh, Overtime is technically, legally not forced. Like, you can say no, and people do. I do. Like, I was getting to that. So my company, whenever they do overtime, I more often than not say no. I'm like, I don't want to. Or I'm busy. I got stuff to do. And I technically do. I either want to stream or build on something or plan something. I often say no. They've never, that might just be my company, but they've never had a problem with that. Like, they'll beg me to do it. Like, "Oh, please, please come do overtime. We really need you, man." And I'm like, "Oh my God, bro." They like guilt trip me into doing it. And I'm like, "Fine, fine, I'll do it, fine." But I'm gonna be late. Like, I'll do that. Sometimes I'll be like, "Okay, fine, I'll do overtime, but I'm coming in at 8." It fully depends on the case. I'm just saying it's not as end all be all as you're describing it. No, I get that. But it's just like, realistically, what are you gonna do? If a company calls you in and says, "Oh man, we don't think you're really, fit for the whatever," and blah 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 blah, they let you go, and like, it would be a waste of your time and money to go and fight these people. It's gonna be really hard to prove, and it's like, yes, it's possible. It is possible to win. You could win something. But I don't know. For me personally, I just think that would be like too much stress. That's a waste of time for me. Like, okay, they didn't like me. They didn't like me. I don't care. I'm gonna go find a company that might like me a little more. And I'm very fortunate to be an electrician. Not that it's that hard to get in. Uh, you need, like, obviously you need some knowledge, you need some skill, but the bar to getting into a trade is not. Yeah, it's too expensive to record. Like, it's too expensive. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of stress. It's a lot of things. Like, you can do it. I'm not saying that you can't. You can do it. I just personally, I don't see any like benefit unless you really know what you're doing and you can close it out fast. I don't see. It's just not worth it. I don't think. Like, cut your losses. Find a company that actually gives a shit about you, which I know is hard, but whatever. And like I was saying, I'm fortunate that I'm an electrician with skill. Yeah, if you know a good lawyer, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you really know what you're doing, you're in a good spot, go for it. Absolutely. Go for it. Fuck them. But for most people, you just gotta cut ties, man. Walk away. Okay, whatever. They fuck those guys. Move on. For someone who's in a trade, if you have eat them, ooh, I don't know about that one. But if you're in a trade or some kind of job and you've proven that you've put in the time, you've built up some experience, um, you know, you know your trade. As an electrician, especially nowadays with the whole AI boom and shit, I would have another job lined out before their ban hammer even hit the desk, bro. Like I'd be lined out. I'm fine, especially because I'm in a schooling institution IEC where um, they're helping you. They're setting pay rates for your companies to follow. You go to school, you learn the trade, and if you get let go, they'll help you line out with another one. You know, like I'm in a good spot. Not a lot of people have that. And so I understand that some people might see the benefit to going to war with their company. Like like it's possible. I don't think in a lot of cases it's worth it. Because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Unless you have a really good lawyer that likes you and is willing to do it for the love of the game. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with this. Where the fuck was I going with this? We were talking about pay. We were talking about pay. I don't know. Um but yeah, oh yeah, overtime, right? Pay, overtime. I don't think you should just throw overtime at people. Like I know a lot of people, oh, I need overtime. I need overtime. Incentivize them with, incentivize efficiency. Overtime is not going to do that. Overtime is not going to incentivize efficiency. In fact, people are going to work slower to put the job behind. And I've seen this. I have seen this happen, especially in big companies. People work slower. I remember when I was loaned out, because I work for a small company, I was loaned out to a slightly bigger company. I already said this. And we were working on a very, like, not huge jobs, but much bigger jobs than I was used to. Oh my God. They were so slow. They worked so slow. And mind you, the first job that I started at, who will need overtime because of the pay, because their base pay is so low. But see, I'm gonna have their base pay as something they can survive, like not even like they can live with. I'm gonna have their base pay be something comfortable. They can afford a home, they can afford food, they can afford a car, they can afford their gas and their, all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, give them like plus 20% just for fuck around money, just to save up, And then after all that, then they get incentives for efficiency. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to give you overtime if you get behind. No, I'm going to say, hey, if you work really efficiently, you get paid more. You get paid more to be efficient. And you're on salary, so you don't get penalized. Like if you work really, 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 really fast, oh shit, we're out of jobs. We're out of jobs. You got to go home. Hey, guess what? You're on salary. You still get paid. And you just got a massive fucking bonus for speed running a bunch of jobs and getting them done really well and fast. You don't just throw overtime because that's just going to bleed everybody's pockets. Because I have seen it firsthand. When there's overtime on the table, when you work for a company that does a lot of overtime, people work slow as fuck. I can be an extremely fast worker, an extremely efficient one. I can be extremely efficient. At my little company, I'm probably on a good day, I'm probably one of, if not the most efficient worker at the company. I don't have those days very often because I have a hard time getting motivated when I'm working for other people. That's why I'm trying to fucking get out so I can just work for myself so I can have infinite motivation. But um it's just I don't know, man. And the job that I'm at just fucking sucks, dude. Like every little job, I swear they're just getting worse. Like logistics and communication and all this is getting worse. Companies are starting to point fingers at their workers, and it's like, dude, we're not the problem. Your logistics are. Your communication is. Why are you pointing at one of your best workers? Like, I'm not trying to be the ego guy and toot my own horn, but I'm one of their best workers. They put me in a shitty spot. I don't want to be a foreman. Let me make that clear. I know a lot of people would kill for the position that I'm at, but I don't want to be a foreman. I'm also not getting paid foreman wages. I'm doing being a foreman, despite what your company might, if you're an electrician, if you're a tradesman, whatever, if your company is telling you that a foreman job is not strictly a journeyman job, they're lying to you. Foreman should be journeyman, or at least your lead, your superintendent on the job, somebody high up, whoever's in charge of that job site needs to be a journeyman at least legally. I'm not a journeyman. And now that's kind of a byproduct of small companies, but and we don't burn things down. Like, bro, I'm competent. I know what I'm doing. Like, again, not an ego thing, but like I know what the fuck I'm doing. There's a reason they put me as a job runner, right? I'm not like I said, I'm not like an official foreman. I'm like a, because we have one guy that goes around hops jobs a lot. He's got a master's and he hops jobs a lot, and so he's technically like a roaming foreman, or like a whatever you want to call it. And so I just kind of oversee the job while he's on a different one, and it's a whole thing, whatever. But like, I don't want to be a lead, man. Like, I don't want to. And I know a lot of people would die for it, but it's like, okay, yeah, sure, man, I'd fight for it if I was getting the wage that a lead should. But I'm getting paid an average third year wage. Like, I'm still getting paid what a third year apprentice gets paid, but I'm doing a journeyman level job. And that's where I'm telling you, like, if your company's saying that being a foreman or a lead is not a journeyman job, they're lying to you. They're just flat out lying to you. It is. It is 100% a journeyman execution level job. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Trying to help out my tradesmen bros out there, dude. Like, don't let your company threaten you. I've had it happen recently. It's not like, it wasn't like a threat. Like, they weren't like threatening me. It was just like, oh, if you don't prove your worth. And I'm like, okay, let's calm down a little bit here. What what are you talking about? What do you mean prove my worth? Because they were getting upset because IEC was saying, in like 6 months I'm gonna get a raise to a pretty good amount. Just Top Court and Siege. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Anyways, but yeah, they were pretty upset about the fact that I'm gonna get, you know, a mandatory raise. And so they were basically bringing me in, you got to prove your worth, or this and that. And I'm like, dude, even when I get the raise, I just want y'all to know, even when I get that raise, I'm still going to be subsidizing the company, because that raise is still not going to match what a journeyman level is, and I'm doing a journeyman level job. You're getting a BOGO discount because I'm an apprentice. Like, I know how this works, man. Like, I'm not stupid. And what's really sad is they use that same tactic on everybody, and not everybody, like, I'm not saying people are dumb. Some people just aren't really aware of the game, right? They're just living their life. They shouldn't have to, right? They should be able to trust their apprenticeship has a lot of loopholes. I know. They should be able to trust their employer. And so I'm not saying people are dumb or that, whatever, but they're misinformed, right? They're being lied to, whatever. And not a lot of people know how the game actually works. And so when they get those threats, like, I was fortunate enough to know that it was all bullshit. Like, I had enough knowledge about the game to know that it was bullshit, what they were telling me. But some people don't. Some people will go into that office, they'll get told, hey man, you gotta prove your worth, this and that, blah blah blah. You're a job runner. Many people, like, they literally said, oh, you're a lead. Many people would kill to be in the position you're in. You gotta prove your worth and all this. And to a normal person, that might hit them. For me, it was like a slap in the face. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, well, that's hitting him and slap in the face. Wow, that was a horrible analogy. For some people, it might be a wake up call of delusion, whatever. But For me, it was them slapping me in the face and just spitting in my face as well, whatever. And it didn't affect me at all. I just heard a whole bunch of wah, 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 and I was like, okay, cool. I mean, if you want to get rid of me, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, there you go. For some, it was a shock, but for me, it was just like, bro, what are you talking about? I like, I'm not stupid. Like, you're looking at me like I'm naive. I know how this works, man. I'm like, what we're doing here, like you said, there's a lot of loopholes with apprenticeship. Just like slap him. I don't. Okay, that would be grounds for being fired, as well as a charge against me. That's assault. I can't do that. So, unfortunately, bite. That's also assault. I can't do that. Yeah. So no physical confrontation, please. That's not. It's not good. Um, hug him too tight. What? That's just like harassment. Where are we going here? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, man, I was sitting there and they were telling me all these things, and I'm like, look, like, what you're paying me and what you will be paying me still does not cover the fact that I'm working a journeyman level job. Like, am I executing it at the same level as a real journeyman? Maybe not. I wouldn't say that I'm far off. I've worked with journeymen. I've worked with masters before, and I'm not far behind them. The only thing I'm far behind them in is actual knowledge. Like, skill to skill physically, I'm really not that far off from a journeyman or a master. With what I've worked with. With what I've worked with. Maybe I've just worked with bad masters or whatever, but with the people that I've personally worked with, in terms of physical skill, I'm not far behind them. But obviously, I'm completely dwarfed in the fact that they passed their test. I don't think I could pass my test right now, right? They have way more knowledge than me. They know their code. They know all this. They know a lot more math than I do. That I concede. They know the trade a lot more than me. Absolutely 100%. So am I executing at the same level as them? No. So yeah, of course I wouldn't be paid nearly as much as an actual person with a license. But with the job that I'm executing at the level that I'm executing it at, I'm not far behind, right? So what I'm getting paid now and what I will be getting paid in like 6 months still does not account for that. I think the average first year in my area with IEC, the average first year journeyman gets paid, I think, around 32. Um, that's the average starting. So plus or minus a couple bucks. Yeah. And so if 32 is the average, then me doing a journeyman level job might be looking at 29 to 30. I'm not getting paid that. I'm not getting paid that. Not even close. So, that's whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not complaining about what I'm getting. I'm getting paid a good amount. Like, as a third year, I'm getting paid a good amount. And the thing is, I haven't, like, yeah, sometimes I do complain about being a lead and it sucks and whatever. It's always just, we always just complain, Being in the trade, you're gonna complain about something, It's just what it is. Like, oh man, fuck Mondays, oh my god, this is a pain in the ass. Oh dude, this sucks, whatever. You're just constantly bitching and moaning about something that you're doing, whether you're actively doing something and cussing at it, it doesn't matter, right? You're just, that's just what tradesmen do. We just bitch and moan all day and go home and pretend like nothing happened, and then we go back the next day. Like, that's just how it goes, right? So obviously, yes, I'm gonna complain about shit, but I never like legitimately complained about my position. Like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm getting paid a decent amount. I'm not in any trouble financially. I'm cool, and I'm chilling. They wanted to bring a problem out of thin air, claim that I wasn't performing, and I just said, look, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I think for a third year, getting paid a third year wage, I'm doing pretty damn good for running a job, you know. for running a job. I shouldn't be legally, but here we are, right? So for that, I'm doing pretty good. And so whatever you think about that, I don't really care. You can get rid of me. I'm just gonna go to a I could go to a bigger company. Yeah, I hate them because they just see you as a number and they fucking suck and everybody works slow as shit and nobody gives a fuck. Whatever. I could go to them, bro, and get paid like twice as much. Not twice, but I could get paid a lot more at a bigger company for a third year than I could here. But I don't because I like small companies. Because I like the people that I work with. The only reason I'm still at this little company that I work with is because I like them. I like the people. Sometimes they're a little annoying. And every once in a while, they'll bring me into the office and bitch and moan at me for a little bit. And then I just snap them out of it. I say, hey, man, I'm one of your best workers, bro. Hey, focus, man. Snap out of it. You're complaining for no reason. Shut up. And then they leave me alone. After they called me into the office and after I gave them that rebuttal, after I told them, you're not correct at all. I'm not causing you any troubles. What you're dealing with is an internal logistical problem. Like, it's not me, bro. Stop pointing fingers at me. I'm not your problem. I'm not a rat in the system, man. Like, it's logistics and it's communication, man. That's the issue. It's not me. I'm one of your best guys. But of course, if you want to scapegoat, that's whatever. Let me go. I'll go find another job before you even fire me. So, whatever. Imagine if I worked with you, you'd quit. I don't think so. Like, how's your work ethic, man? How's your efficiency? Like, as long as you can listen and you can interpret basic, y'all would be fucking around. Yeah, dude, we wouldn't get anything done, basically. I don't know. I can't imagine Zamoku in the electrical trade. No, I think we'd get some work done. I mean, it would be depending on how you would be with a trade, because I have coworkers that we just fuck around all day, and then I know I made fun of these people previously, but we're not like solo and we're not like assholes to everybody. We fuck around because we're messing around with the whole crew, right? We kind of fuck around and then we're like, oh shit. And then me and these people that I'm talking about will get to work. We're all super efficient, so, we might fuck around for an hour or two throughout the day, spread out, and then we just get everything done, We still get everything that we need to get done for the day. With Sumoku, I don't know. It depends on how good you are, man. I'd be curious to see what you'd be like as an electrician. We fuck around in federal engineering jobs too, Lamau. Yeah, I mean, every job, bro, you gotta have some fuck around moments, You gotta have some whatever. But you gotta be able to like back it up, bro. Like you gotta be able to make up for that time. If you cannot make up for the time that you're fucking around with, don't do it. Like you just gotta just put your head down and work. It's commonplace. Oh, I ask a lot of questions constantly. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I want you to ask questions. But if you ask me the same question 5 times, then I'm gonna get mad. Then I'm gonna get mad. Like if I show you how to do something and then 30 minutes later you say, hey, how do I do this? Man, get your bitch ass back over there and figure it out, dude. I wouldn't actually hit you. That's abuse and also assault. I wouldn't do that. That's a joke. But dude, like, bro, yeah. I will ask you 5 times the same thing. Yeah, dude, you wouldn't be good as a tradesman. Yikes. Yeah, you need to do something more simple. All right, now that I've been ranting for fucking an hour and a half, are we gonna play a short little game or something? I've got my mood back up slowly now that I've gotten it all out of my system. Or most of it out of my system. Basically, long story short, guys, anybody watching, I have a lot of plans. There's a lot of stuff I want to do. I want to help out our generation. I want to make a content empire, a corporate empire, give the American dream back to people, just help everybody around the world and just really just do shit, pay people what they deserve, give people homes and cars and all that. Like I have a lot of shit that I want to do. I know it's far fetched. Some of you might not believe in it, but someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it. And right now it doesn't look like a lot of people. I know a lot of people are trying, but we need more. We need more people trying. Some people might be trying, but we need more. And I really want to freaking come at this with a, I don't know, dude. The system needs to change. The education system is shit. They're so far behind. They're so inefficient. Dude, might be a hot take, and some of you might not agree. Most of you might not agree. I think it is 100% possible. I think it's possible. Theoretically. But 100%. I think it's 100% theoretically possible that kids, if you used scientifically proven, efficient ways of teaching, and you cater to young minds properly, you could be learning calculus by 5th grade. I'm just going to say it. Like, some of you might say, oh yeah, no shit. And a lot of you might say, what the fuck? I didn't even learn that shit in 12th. Exactly. That is how inefficient the fucking schooling system is. Anyway, that's something I want to fix. I want to fix housing, logistics, material, manufacturing, automotive, security, finance, fucking construction. Like, dude, I just want to do everything. I just want to do all of it. All of it. All of it. Everything. I want to write books. I want to do music. I want to do art. I want to write philosophy. I want to write my own philosophy. And I want to make my own academy where I teach my philosophy and try to build more architects like myself to make, or not to make more people, but like to encourage more people to think like me, to not look at the system as a done deal and we're all fucked and we're all screwed, but to like look at it and go, okay, this might be far-fetched, but we got to do something. Let's try it. Fuck it. Fuck around and find out, but the good way. People are graduating without being able to read. We need more confident in holding kids back. No, we don't even need to hold kids back. It's just the way we teach kids is so inefficient. It's so inefficient. There are better. I actually had a coworker. He moved on to a different company, but I had a coworker. Me and him were working one-on-one on the service job. Really cool dude, really awesome guy. I wanted to actually go into business with him, but he kind of kept getting distracted by other things. His ideas, I actually like some of his ideas. It just wasn't really my thing. And I didn't want to take any ideas from him. I want him to go and figure it out. But I did actually want to go in business, and I still do. Whenever I get up there, I have a call list. I have a call list. I'm gonna be calling people up. Whenever I get big, bro, if you want to get on my call list, bro, show me that you're worth something, and bro, I guarantee you, I'll give a call, bro. I have a call list with a lot of my coworkers, even some of you guys like Fax. You're on the call list. You already know that, but you're on the call list. Zamoku, you're a lad. You don't even need to be on the call list. You're literally already in. But I mean, same with Fax. But Fax, I would probably, since we're more close, like physically, like literally physically closer in terms of like he's 6 hours away or whatever. Or even, I think he might even be in town right now. I don't remember. That's what I mean by call list. Like, I'd literally call him up for a physical job and shit. But I don't know. Like, I have a call list, bro. If I like you, like, if you're cool and you got something of value in terms of skill or knowledge, I'm calling you up whenever I get up there, you know? And so, anyways, I'm talking about this guy. He was telling me how, you know, with his kid, he did, you know, he goes to, like, his kid goes to normal school still, right? But whenever she comes home, like on weekends and stuff, she does, or he has his daughter, yeah. I'm getting so mixed up right now. Okay, so my coworker has a daughter, right? His daughter still goes to normal school, but then whenever she's home, he has her do like an online thing where there's this lady who is using like scientifically proven more efficient ways of teaching, and I think she is like his daughter's like 3 or something, and like already knows like all her colors, can count up to a pretty high number. I don't remember what it was. Count up to like a really high number, do basic addition and subtraction, can like it's ridiculous. She's 3 and she can do like more math than like a fucking third grader. Like, it's crazy. And he was telling me about it. He's like, dude, like this, like the newer generations are insane. Their brains are being melted by brain rot, which is really sad. Which is why if I ever have kids, I'm not giving them a fucking iPad to just scroll shorts all day. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna like whenever they're little babies, I'm just gonna like turn the saturation up on the TV to give them something to look at and just watch like documentaries, bro. Like they're gonna be like I'm not no fucking Coco Melon bullshit, bro. Okay, hold on, let me catch up on chat real quick. Everyone learns in different ways, and school only teaches one way. Exactly. Okay, it's not the full problem, no, but you can't blame the teacher for everything. I'm not. I don't. Did I ever blame who? Did someone blame the teachers? I didn't blame the teachers. Well, sometimes it is teacher. Most of the time, it's because of our school education system. Okay, but the thing with the teachers are just doing their job. The teachers are just doing their job. Like a lot of those teachers, some of them do have passion, and the ones who have passion are the good teachers. But a lot of them are literally just there because they're doing the job. They're just doing their job, and they're just doing what they're told by the school system, whatever, getting their money, going home. All right. Anyways, sometimes it's the teacher and sometimes it's the student. I agree. I had a friend who never gave a shit, never listened, never did the work, and I was an A student. Couldn't retain the information from the way the teacher was teaching it. So it like depends. By teachers like that, you will have ifs. Oh jeepers. Oh god. That's what I'm saying. You can't fully blame teachers. Yeah. So can't fully blame teachers. It's the system. Okay. Teachers with passion work way better with what they're given, but at the end of the day, even those teachers are limited heavily by what the school board dictates. They're so old school that we shouldn't even be caring about letter grades. It shouldn't be based off of letter grades. It should be like you should be analyzing the kids, seeing how their brain is wired, the best way that they learn, cater to that. Now, I know this would be a lot more logistics and a lot more complicated, but like if we want to get anywhere in society, if we want to go to the fucking stars, we need to do something, bro. We can't like and even if we keep with a generalized teaching system, just make an average generalized system based off of better scientific teaching, and then the outliers who don't quite fit that, who either underperform or sometimes maybe even overperform. If there's people that overperform, you know, maybe see, okay, maybe we can do something different with these guys. Maybe we need to get them even further. Because if they're overperforming on a generalized standard, maybe they'll do even better in a better one, whatever. It's like as long as you elevate the entire system so that the overall generalized teaching system is just better and it works for most people, most average kids, then you have the outliers and you just deal with the outliers. If someone's underperforming, you go and you analyze these kids and you say, okay, why are they underperforming? Maybe they don't work in this system. Okay, let's put them in a different system. See how we can elevate them. Like actually try to bring people up instead of just like throwing them in there and saying, "Oh, you didn't get a good grade. Here's a D minus." Like we're not preparing people for factories anymore. Can we prepare them for fucking knowledge? Like, thank you. Thank you. Like let's work on knowledge here. I had 100 on a test and my grade went up by 1 point, and I had an 80 on another test and my grade went down by 3. Government mandate tests are fantastic at getting those benchmarks. Yeah, benchmark tests are cool. I think the concept works well, but I don't know if the test itself is like the material on the test itself, if that's great. Like I don't know if that's really the way to do it. And benchmark tests are cool when you're trying to group people together. But I'm talking as far as like just the actual general teaching system, how we teach kids, what methods we use to teach kids. I think what you're saying is we use like a benchmark test at the beginning. Like as soon as a kid is able to like somewhat think and they know like some basic, we give them a little test. Like when they're really young, we give them a test like, what color is this? What's this number? Like a really basic math equation or something. Um, and it's like, we see where they're at and whatever. And I guess we could split them. I don't think doing it that early on is really that necessary. As an early way to see how kids are learning. Yeah, so like I said, the STAR test, like the concept is great. I just don't know if the material in it is really 100%. Like obviously there's math, cool. Reading, cool. But it doesn't need to be all math and all reading. Like have some more like almost in a way introduce some kind of like, I don't want to say IQ test because I don't really believe in IQ tests that much. Like it's good for pattern recognition and you can actually use that to maybe see how someone might learn better in terms of how they recognize patterns. So maybe that could be useful. But um basic history and the material is basic lessons and history. What a way to see how kids are learning. The whole point is to see who learns the way school has it. The material is basic lessons. Yeah, okay. I don't know. History is kind of a weird thing for me. Like, I understand it's extremely important, and I would never want to get rid of it. Like, obviously, history is very important. If we're gonna do history, that's another thing. Again, I'm more focused on the general teachings. How we separate kids from like who learns what way, who learns another. That's something we can fix later. I'm talking more so just the general school system. How are we teaching kids? What methods are we using? Um, Jesus. Okay, I'll read that in a second. But like, what are the general methods that we're using? Because right now they're not good. They're slow. They're not. I don't know. They're so slow. They're so slow. I think if you had a proper system and you actually gave a shit about teaching the kids, you could be teaching them calculus by 5th grade. I really do think that's possible. I genuinely think that's possible. Kids, like, you might not see it nowadays because they're all getting fucking fried by brain rot, and like that genuinely has a horrible effect on kids' brains. Oh my god. I've literally seen it firsthand. I've seen it firsthand. I know what brain rot is doing to little kids. It's horrible. It actually makes me sad. It genuinely makes me sad when I see it. Because those kids should be smarter than me. 100%. It is insane how fast the human brain over generations is developing. It's like, bro, like some kids are doing things that full grown adults in their 30s and 40s, all the way down their career, have only just now done. Like, those are very rare cases, and I couldn't give you an actual name for one, but like I remember seeing certain cases of it. It's insane. I'm not saying that's like everyone. Like that's probably a very rare selection, cherry picked, whatever. Um, but even just people in my own life, like young kids that I've seen, the ones that have managed to stay away from brain rot, they're really smart. Like they're really smart. Their pattern recognition, their problem solving is kind of scary, actually. It's like kind of scary, genuinely. Like they are extremely capable. Their brains are like the most efficient sponges in the universe, and then you're throwing brain rot at them, and they're just like turning to mush, and it's really sad. But you could absolutely utilize that and speed up education immensely, immensely. Um, Obviously I don't have all the answers right now. That's something that I would figure out through trial and error down the road, but that's something I want to look into. That's something I want to research. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have all the answers from all my plans. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly how I'm going to build my car. I know exactly how I'm going to do the logistics. I know exactly how I'm going to do this, and this. I know how I'm going to fix the economy. I know I'm going to fit. Like, no, I don't know the answers to all of that, but those are things that I want to fit. Like, I want to work towards. Okay, here we go. The material is unnecessary. I've had my friend who passed a grade because he got a good grade, even though he failed most of the tests. And I had another friend who failed the grade because she failed the STAR test, but always paid attention and patience and knew the material. They just shouldn't dictate going up or down. Grade me too. All the tests are graded needs to be checked. I know a kid growing up who skipped 3 grades and he was a prodigy of the curriculum, and that each test would reflect the class in general. And if someone was considered for grade skipping, then he needs to be deliberate focus. Oh, I knew a guy who skipped a couple grades. He's actually in the Discord. I don't know how many. I think he skipped like one or two. Uh, or maybe no. I don't know. Did he skip grades? I think he skipped like one grade, but then even then he didn't skip another grade. But he was doing like high school and college classes in middle school. I was like, bro, what do you? Okay, interesting. Optimizing is something that will always be an issue because things can always be improved upon. Millen, we went to high school with him, I think. Haha. I don't know if we're thinking of the same person though. Are we thinking of the same person? Because I'm pretty sure the guy I'm thinking of, he skipped one grade and then he was doing high school and college classes in middle school. Because I knew him in middle school. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if you went to my middle school or not. Because I didn't know you then. I knew you in high school, but not middle school. I know, but failing a grade, even though your tests and paperwork and knowledge is great, but she was just never good at STAR tests and then got held back for one test. It feels like a slap in the face to work hard and fail at the end. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, optimizing. We should always be optimizing. Like you said, there will always be something you can improve upon. But that doesn't mean you should just stop and review. Oh, but it's an endless. I'm not saying this is what you're saying, by the way. Facts. I don't want to make offend you or anything. But it's like, yeah, there's always something to improve upon. But just because it's an endless horizon doesn't mean you should just stop somewhere because it's a fruitless endeavor. We're never going to get to the end of it. What? That's like literally against my entire philosophy that I literally just described about me moving an immovable boulder. The whole point is that my end goal is an infinite horizon away, that I'm always going to optimize. I'm always going to improve. I'm always going to do something different to do it better. And if I fail, or even if I don't fail, I succeed, but maybe I see an opening for improvement, I'm going to do it. I'm not just going to stop because the system works. That's what we're doing right now. That's what the school system is. It works, I guess. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the thing is, it's starting to break. We're starting to see cracks in it because it's so far behind that it's like, what are we doing? Probably he was in my middle school pre-AP class, science class, but he also graduated college early, so combined he skipped 3. You're gonna have to repeat everything you said for the past minute. Oh my goodness! You're just gonna have to watch the VOD, bro. I don't know. But okay, fine. I'll recap it. The point, what I was saying is, yes, there will always be something to optimize. Always. It's an infinite horizon. Okay? It's an infinite horizon. But that doesn't mean we should just stop somewhere because it works. It's not broken, so don't fix it. No, that's a horrible mentality. That's against everything that I believe in. Everything we should be setting is an infinite horizon. We should always be improving, always optimizing. We don't have to do everything at once. We don't have to solve the problem. It's like philosophy. Philosophy is the art of asking the right question. You're not going to have all the answers. That is literally, that's how I see philosophy. I don't know. Some people might agree. Some people might disagree. That's the whole point of philosophy. I see philosophy as the art of asking the right question. If you ask the right question, get people to think the right way, or not even the right way, just get people to think about the question, try to answer it in their own way, and debate the different answers that people give. That's philosophy, right? And we should be putting that into everything we do. Ask the right question, do the right thing, set up the right system. I'm smart, not trying to be cocky, but I'm smart when it comes to school. True. Almost always failed STAR tests. No, barely passed elementary, and everyone thought I was stupid because of the test. I got in high school, and bam, still sucked at STAR test, but passed beautifully through all my classes. A STAR test shouldn't dictate passing grade. STAR test is a government mandated test. It should be the same curriculum for every. It's meant to show you a specific progress. Those grades if you fail the benchmark test, so it shouldn't fail the class. It shows you didn't learn as much that year. Anyways, help. I don't even know if I have time to play a game right now. I'm gonna answer Zamoka's question from earlier about the game. It looks interesting. It looks interesting. I'm going to open it up real quick and look at it closely. That is interesting. Oh, okay. And then it's 3D. That's interesting. Oh, that's cool. No, that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, we could totally play that at some point. I've never even seen that before. How did you find this game? I don't even know if Smoke is in here. How did you find this game? How old is this? It seems pretty new. Release date. Oh my god. Dude, that's brand new. It was just released. Kind of like the fitnessgram government mandated fitness tests for kids in a way they are needed to make your kids are learning and general statistics better analysis. How that is done is up to the debate. I think y'all are kind of going in circles for no reason. Like you're both essentially saying the same thing in your own words. Like Fax agrees that it shouldn't like dictate your. What did you say? You said let me reread this so I'm not putting words in your mouth. It's yeah, it's a benchmark test. It shouldn't dictate your actual standing. Yeah, no, they're important. They're important, but it shouldn't. I think you both agree on the premise that it shouldn't dictate your actual like standing in your grade. It's a benchmark. If you fail it, then the school shouldn't hold you back. It should say, okay, we kind of failed them in this area. Let's see why. Okay, boom, we go in there, investigate, see what happened, where their shortcomings are, figure it out, and then actually reteach them. Um, exactly. Like the fact, I think, like I said, I think you're both agreeing it shouldn't have an effect on your grade. It's a benchmark to see, okay, where you're at. You're kind of just going in circles. I feel like you're kind of arguing past each other. You're like, yeah, you're like talking past each other right now. SAR test would be great if it meant nothing related to grades, only helped with progress, but seeing people around fail the entire grade for it was just sad because they're smart and deserve it. Yeah. Um, yeah, no. See, y'all are agreeing with each other. Keep seeing like big ass paragraphs show up and you're like talking past each other here. You're like saying the same things but in different words. Um yeah, no, like yeah, it shouldn't have any effect on your grade. It shouldn't hold you back. It should be at the end of the year, you take the test, the benchmark, see, okay, how did the school system do this year? How did the school system and the kid play? Like, did they play nice? Did they do good? If not, investigate it, see what happened. Do we need to change up the way we teach? Like, it should be a constant game of optimization. You shouldn't just have one thing in place and say, okay, fuck it, let it run. Like, no, dude, you got to optimize. You got to have a system in place that gives every kid an equal chance to learn the same thing. And those who excel can continue to excel. Those who struggle, help them to get at least up to median, you know? And if they simply, like, maybe they have some sort of mental disability, some kind of thing that literally keeps them from, like, okay, then we work with that. We see what is something that they can do. What is something that they can do? And let's see, like, what they can do with that, you know? And just go from there. Like, it should be constantly optimizing, constantly analyzing. Um, you know, we need to treat society almost like I know some people might not like the words that I'm about to use, but let me hear me out for a second. We should be treating society and governments and everything as a company. Every person, every citizen is an employee, and they're important. They need benefits, they need pay, they need, so and so, they need training, they need all this and this, that. You can't just let one of your employees fucking get left behind. Like, they need training. You got to see where do they fit? Where can I put my employee to where they'll perform the best? You know, how can we put them in a position where they'll give back to the company itself, where they'll thrive and the company will thrive? The same thing needs to work for governments. The same thing needs to work for society. People need to be put in places where they perform at their best, and they actually contribute, and we shouldn't leave people behind because every single person can be useful. I personally barely scraped by out of high school. I was good at STAR tests. Like Miss Mellon was saying earlier, one of her friends. They did not give a single shit about the class at all, but then they take the STAR test and fucking pass it with flying colors. I didn't pass it with flying colors, but I did well. I would sit there for about 2 hours, do the whole test, speed run through it, and then I just sleep for the rest of the time. And then, oh, well and behold, I got an 80. You know, it wasn't like an A plus or anything, but it was like I gave zero shits and I still got an 80. You know, and so, I never got held back. Never anything like that. In high school, I barely fucking scraped by. I'd fail classes that other people would say were the easiest class. Captain Fax Machine. I'm sure you know this class. Money Matters, right? Everybody agreed it was the easiest class in the entire fucking school. Like, everybody said, oh, you have to try to fail. And like, as like a fucking testament, bro, I was like, yeah, dude, we're gonna see how that actually works. So I did not try at all. And lo and behold, guess what? It was the lowest grade I have ever gotten in my entire life. Actually, no, that's not true. It was the second lowest. The lowest was in Spanish 2 when I literally didn't do anything and I got an 8 in the class. I know, a single digit 8 in Spanish 2 because I literally I could not comprehend it. It was horrible. And the second lowest in Money Matters, what everybody said was the easiest class. And I agreed. I just was like, oh, you have to try to fail? Okay, let's see. Didn't try. 14. I got a 14 in the class. What everybody said was the easiest class in the entire fucking school. I got a 14. Everyone wouldn't be the exact same since everyone is different. There are different ways that they interact and they have different needs. Exactly, yeah. We shouldn't just have one. Also, Money Matters mentioned crazy. What a throwback, dude. Yeah, no, everybody learns in their own way. You can group a lot of them. Like, there is an average. There is a median, right? Or a mean. I don't, whatever the fuck. Math, right? I haven't been to school in a while. I don't know what the fuck right word is. Uh, right? But there's the bell curve, right? You know, the bell curve of everything in existence. Mean. There you go, right? There's a middle ground. You can group a lot of people and kind of just kill a bunch of birds with one stone, right? But then you're going to have outliers, and you have to have contingency for those outliers. If you can't deal with outliers, then your system's broken. I'm sorry, your system's broken if you cannot deal with outliers. If you have people underperforming, you need to bring them up to speed. If you have people overperforming, see how far they can go. Push them. Let them go farther, you know? Taking 4 different engineering statistics courses in the past year alone. Try me. Real. And this is another thing I said. When I was in high school, I didn't give a shit. Barely passed. The only reason I passed high school is because I got into the career center and did electrical, and that knocked off a lot of the credits that I needed. I didn't have to get like half the credits. Like, literally, I did not have to get like, I think it was a quarter. I did not have to get a quarter of the credits that I needed. I don't remember how many credits you needed, but whatever the number was, take out a quarter of that. Like, I didn't need it. And so I didn't have to do Algebra 2. Money Matters didn't even count. They found a way to make my computer science from middle school count for my language credit because I could not get through any language. So they somehow managed to get that to count. And like, it was a whole thing. Like, I literally, when I say I scraped by the skin of my teeth, bro, holy shit, bro. Oh my god, if I did not do electrical, I would be cooked. But it wasn't because I was a dumbass. It was just because I could not care about school. I couldn't. When I would do science, oh fuck yeah, I'd give a shit about that. Science, sometimes math. When it came to math, I would like care on certain things, but then others not so much. But science, I'd freaking destroy that shit. History, I didn't give a shit about because I feel like deep down I knew half of it was fucking lies. Like, I was like, what the fuck? What is this teaching, bro? You know, making it sound like fucking everything America was so perfect and great, and I'm like, okay, I guess. And then I get out and I hear the complete opposite, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm just not gonna believe anything. Cool. That's where that all started. That's where I stopped believing in literally anything that anybody said to me. But anyways, that being said, even though I failed that and I never went to college and anything, I'm sitting here and I know that I want to learn things. I want to learn things. Fax in the Discord at one point even said it himself when we were talking about who was doing what engineering or what, yeah, like what STEM majors they were doing, and he had, you know, jokingly said that I was just doing it for the fun of the game, and I think that's like a perfect statement for like who I am. I just do it for the love of the game, you know. I hate being forced to go to school. If I can choose to go, I will. And so that's another thing I want to do. That's another goal of mine. It's whenever I get money and I'm free to get my time back and I can stop with my 9 to 5, I'm going to go to college for fun. Not for any career, not for anything. When I have the money for it, I'm just going to go to college. I'm going to do multiple STEM things completely unrelated from each other just for the love of the game, just to learn it. You know, if I fail the class, okay, whatever. I'll give it another shot. I don't care. Uh, like I'm gonna learn as many STEM as I can. I want to learn sports science. I want to learn philosophy. I want to learn uh finance, business. Like I just want to get. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. This might actually be a little insane on my part. Um, but I want to get masters in like all of these. It's gonna take me like 18 years to get through all of these, but I want to get masters for all of them. Let me hold on. Let me catch up on chat. Outliers are sometimes just outliers. That being said, if there are trends and you can prove that those outliers are significant, then you have a problem and it really needs to be checked. Exactly. There is no way to fully collect everyone, but that's nitpicking in my opinion. Yeah, no. You cannot fully collect. That's what I'm saying is you can group a lot. Like you can get a lot of people grouped in, but you're gonna that bell curve eventually is gonna flatten out and you're gonna have outliers and you've got to be able to deal with those. But you can group a lot. You can group a lot. Learning can be fun. It fully depends on how you implement it and how you study for it. Can't wait to work at the morgue one day. I'm wired how I studied this past semester and my grades shot up. It's so much fun. That's metal AF. Metal. Oh. Yeah, that just means that's sick, bro. Like that's like hella cool. I don't know, bro. You explain it, facts. I'm not with the times, bro. I'm kind of an unk, remember? So, but yeah, anyways, that's something I want to do. Whenever I get money and I have my time back while I'm building my actual corporate empire. Because clearly, obviously, I'd have to succeed in my content empire in order to be freed of my job. And then once I do that, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to start building my corporate empire. I'm going to make fucking energy drinks and shit just for the fun of it. And while I'm in school, I'm going to be building up my empire. um, but yeah, dude, I just want to go to school. It's literally like I've done the prediction of it. I've looked at all the masters I want to get. I want to get electrical engineering since I'm already close to that anyway, since I'm an electrician. Electrical engineering, I think it was mechanical engineering. Some kind of like chemical. I think it was chemical. Like just a bunch of like completely unrelated engineering degrees, and I want to get masters in all of them. And I want to get sports science, a master in sports science. I want to get a master in philosophy, finance, business. I think there was another one too, but I just want to get masters in all of them. It's going to take me like 18 years to get through all the degrees that I want to get. Um, so I'm fully willing. Like that's just something I'm going to do in my spare time, essentially. As crazy as that sounds, doing college in your spare time for fun is probably something no one's ever said before, but I want to do it. So, you know, it's going to happen. Yeah, sorry, that means it's cool law. I thought you and Fax were same age. Oh, I'm not with the times, bro. I was talking like 90s slang. We are, which is the crazy thing. There are ways to get like focuses or something in certain degrees, so they aren't full degrees, but you get parts of each degree. Nah, bro, I'm going for the masters. I'm getting all of them. I'm collecting them like I'm collecting the motherfuckers like Pokemon cards, bro. Um, business engineering. That's interesting. I don't know. I just like I want to learn all like the physics. Like I want to learn the physics of the universe, just down to the nitty gritty, the roots. Maybe even get into like quantum shit. I'm sure they're gonna have a class for that eventually. I want to. Oh, that's another one. I want to get into like this is part of philosophy a little bit, but I want to get into theoretical physics theoretical physics and stuff. I want to get into that. Dude, I want to do everything, bro. I just want to learn it all. Because I know I can and I want to. So we're gonna find out, bro. But obviously I can't do that without y'all, man. We gotta get up there, bro. We gotta get to the top of Twitch. Hopefully I get a lot of good clips from this. Hopefully I get a lot of good clips. Hey, Clipper, where you at? I'm gonna spend years and years just for me to get to where I want to be. But it'll be worth it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Um, Same, bro. I mean, the grind never stops. Did you even play a game today? Nope. No, I did not. But I'm actually kind of happy, bro. The stream went well. You know, I came in really depressed and kind of like without motivation or anything. Like I was really feeling down. But you know what? Feeling pretty good now. Feeling pretty good. You know, I've got a little bit of my pep in my step now. Just kind of reminiscing, or not even reminiscing, just like listing out my plans. It's good to do that. I have to do that so often. Oh my goodness. I have to remind myself of my plans like almost every single day, because if I don't, then I lose them. And I think it's really important that you defend your dreams. I don't want to be one of those guys that, you know, loses their soul or dies at 25 and just lives on till 70 because they lost their dreams and they just kind of fell to the system. Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy. The amount of lists I keep is kind of insane. Oh my god, bro. The lists? I I don't know. So, facts. I think you might have seen it a couple times, but have I ever opened my Google Drive in front of you? It's just folders, and you open a folder, more folders, more, more folders. Everything is just ridiculously organized. I have like a million spreadsheets. I have a million lists. I have a million things that I want to do, all listed out, all organized. My entire future's laid out in a fucking document somewhere, and I'm just like tweaking it as I go, and it's just ridiculous, man. Sometimes you just gotta write it all down, dude. I write everything down that I can, dude. There's too much. There's too much. I don't actually. That's a lie, bro. I don't write everything down at all. There is there is a lot more in my brain than there is on writing, which is crazy because if you have seen my Google Drive, bro, that thing is packed, bro. Like I said earlier, way earlier, I have an entire series planned out for a universe and a whole world building and like a whole universe worth of world building, and like 90% of it's just in my head. It's not even written down yet. So it's there's a lot going on in here, and there's that probably explains why I'm always mentally exhausted. Never tired. Well, I mean, I'm always tired, but like that probably explains why I'm also always just mentally exhausted by the end of the day because I'm always thinking. Always thinking. Um that's actually kind of another thing. I wanted to make a TikTok on this, but it's interesting for me because I feel like a lot of people when they go to sleep, right? They go to sleep and then they wake up and a new day starts, right? It's a new day, whatever. They just let the world come at them. They just kind of go, right? Whatever, you know, they let the day behind them pass for the most part, right? Obviously you remember shit, but it's like for the most part you let the day pass. For me though, I never get rest. Like I'll sleep, my body will heal itself somewhat, whatever, but I'm never rested. And I've dug into it a lot. And kind of what I found was it's just the fact that my brain it like if I were to compare my brain to a computer, you have the RAM, right? The RAM always keeps the active RAM is always keeping in the information readily available so you can grab it, right? My brain is constantly redlining its RAM. I'm just filling that shit up with every little thing and I'm not letting go of a single thing. That's why I need to start writing stuff down. That's one of the things I wanted to do was get a notebook or like a little moleskin notebook. So when I'm at work, if I have an idea, I just write it down. Um, and so, um, but yeah, dude, it's like for me, I found out that it's when I go to sleep and I wake up in the morning, It's like for me, sleep isn't sleep. It's just like a blip. It's just I close my eyes and then I wake up and I'm just right back where I left off. There's no reset, no mental clear, no RAM clear, no nothing. What I went to sleep with is exactly what I wake up with. The stress from the previous 20 million days, like I have not had like a rest where like I fully reset and I'm good. Not even a dream. Like, okay, I have dreams, but it's so weird, but my brain is so weird. I wake up and sometimes I remember my dream, not very often. If it's like a really cool dream with like a cool premise, I'll like write it down because I'll add it to my story later. Um, REM sleep is scared of this man. Yeah. I am REM sleep, bro. Like I'm just constantly like, dude, I don't know. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, bro. Very, 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 very rarely, but there will be times where I actually like kind of get confused on what's reality. Because it's like I go to sleep and some of the shit that I dream about is just as crazy as the shit that I think about from my books. And so when I wake up and I'm like, is that something that I already thought about? Sometimes my dreams are so realistic, but I'm not consciously aware of it. So like when I wake up, I might get some like deja vu feeling or whatever later in the day. And I'm so confused. 'Cause I'm like, wait, but I don't remember doing that. Was that a dream? Like sometimes my dreams and my days get mixed together. Uh, my days always are mixed together. Like I was saying, bro, I go to sleep and I wake up, but my day continues from the previous day. Like I go to sleep, there's a blip, and I wake up and I'm literally just right back where I left off. There's no reset. It's to the point where like whatever I'm thinking about when I go to sleep and I finally fall asleep, I wake up thinking about the exact same thing. Like literally right where I left off. I don't ever feel rested. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, dude. It's like Groundhog Day, bro. It's like Groundhog Day, except instead of repeating the same day with the same events, it's repeating the same day. Actually, it's not even repeating. It's just one long day. It's just an infinite day that never ends. Hey, if it helps, all my dreams are prophetic. I have yet to miss one. I think I told you this in high school. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of things because that's another thing, dude. I kind of feel bad for Miss Mellon because she'll tell me things, and it's like I'm listening. Oh, I'm listening. But then, like 20 minutes later, it's gone. It's just gone because my brain is like my RAM is already full. I'm like shoving shit in there, just trying to remember everything I can until eventually I write shit down. And so she'll tell me time, she'll tell me dates and like plans and all that, and I'm listening. I'm looking at her, listening, and then like 20 minutes later I forget, or like the next day gone. Like you could bring it up to me again, I'd be like, wait, we talked about that. We talked about that. Oh, I'm sorry. You had a dream of a horse riding a human on a trampoline once. Wow, interesting. The only thing is, typically I'll have like if we've talked about something, usually I'll have like a sense of I like vaguely remember the topic or the sensation of that topic. But sometimes I literally don't remember anything. But yeah, dude, my days never end, man. Like I go to sleep and I wake up with the same nothing ever changes. The same stress, the same thoughts, the exact same thought that I fell asleep with. Same stress, same everything. My dreams are snippets of conversations or small cutscenes of something I will be doing or a place I will be going, but I never know when, where it is until right before it happens. I like having those cool dreams of I have frogs twerking in daytime. What the fuck? I have I, the very few dreams that I do remember are like they're crazy, man. I get entire stories. Like, I mean, when I tell you, bro, it's like a movie. It's like an actual. It has its own plot. I'm not even kidding. Some of my dreams have plots. Like, there's actual plots. There's actual stories. There's characters, main characters, and tag. Like, new world building shit. There's actually I had a dream recently and I'm going to turn it into a new book. It's going to be more of like a philosophy meets fiction, like sci-fi. I'm going to call it Zeno's Window. It's gonna have like a room where the room itself, at one end of the room, there's a window that looks into a vacuum energy chamber, whatever, that's like feeding off of a alternate universe and like the black holes there and whatever. And you know how with black holes there's time dilation, all that. So once you're standing right next to Zeno's window or the window, look it obviously I just spoiled the book, but the window, you look out, and once you're standing on that end of the room, you're going through time super fast. But on the other end of the room, it's like normal time, and there's like a conflict between people on each end of the room. And but you can't shoot the guy at the end because it's like, actually no. What's so weird is if you're on the slow end and you shoot towards, I think if you're on the shoot the normal end, and you shoot towards the window, the guy on the window, it's like the bullet just like literally teleports, and it's like even faster than a normal. It's so weird. Anyways, I had a dream like that where I just literally was dreaming about time dilation inside this one room. One end is a window and one end is like a workshop or something. I don't know. It was so weird. There was an elevator with the same thing where like the elevator was powered by a this was where the dream was getting weird, but there was an elevator powered by a wormhole, and if you were standing in the elevator, you were getting some time dilation effect, so it takes them extra long to get down, and so the dude that was ahead of them managed to get like an entire I don't know, it was crazy. That my dreams are weird, man. Um I recently had one walking with someone in a place like an airport with a heavy conversation. I couldn't see the person, but I remember the conversation was heavy. Oh, very nice. Interesting. Yeah, dude. I get entire fucking storylines in my dreams. I don't know. They're interesting. Um, but hey, look at that. It's 10 o'clock. I think I'm gonna call it here. I guess to recap, we had a good conversation, talked about my goals. I really would like to. Oh, never mind. I guess we're waiting for the ad. I don't think y'all want to be in my brain. I don't think anybody wants to be in my brain. 90 seconds, bro. Oh my god. Dude, what the heck, man? Alright, bro, let's wait 90 seconds for facts to come back. Wait 90 seconds, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. Why are ads so bad? I wish I could turn that shit off, man. I don't get anything from them. I get zero. Like, I get like 3 cents from an ad. Not even that, dude. I get like 1. I get like 1 cent from an ad. It's not even, it's just not worth it, bro. And it scares people off. Y'all want to hear details on twerking frogs in daytime? I mean, I guess you can share that. It'll be ending soon once Fax gets off his fucking ad. I don't know, dude. I'm just doing a recap. It doesn't really matter. I'm just recapping. Good conversation. I talked about goals, a little bit about my book, whenever that's going to come out, what I want to do. I just want to get into art. I want to learn things. I want to build an empire, multiple kinds, content, and a corporate one. Give the American dream back to my generation, man. Just really help do that. Make things affordable again. I know that's way easier said than done, but we'll figure it out, man. Like I said, I don't have all the answers now, man, but that's just shit that I want to do. So if you want to help that cause, then help out the lads, man. That's kind of our cause. I don't want to be that guy, but I am kind of the spearhead of the lads, and so I feel like I have a pretty major say on what our cause is. And I think anybody in the lads, that being Zamoku and Future Facts, I think they'd both agree that that's a good cause. To fight for our generation and to put the American dream back into it. Um, not just for us, but for the whole world too. Not necessarily the American dream for the whole world, but just make the world a better place, man. You know, I hate the conflict, man. The conflict is so unnecessary. Wars are completely unnecessary. We only have one fucking planet, and the fact that people are so fucking, oh, I'm gonna go kill a bunch of people because I want your land. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Like, dude. We need Manifest Destiny back. Well, that was an interesting Canada 50. Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Oh my god. No facts. We don't need to. No, this is not world domination, man. It's just okay, anyways. So like I was going around a beautiful pond, it was gorgeous, and there was like frog who was purple with a hint of green, and his eyes looked bright turquoise, and he started twerking on a lily pad and just stared at me, and I was wearing a white dress and just hitting him with pink light flower petals, and the sun was so bright. Wow. You're welcome for the clip. Okay. All right, bud. All right, bud. Yeah, dude, we're not trying to do world domination here, bro. This is world uniting, okay? All the citizens of the world need to unite, bro. These governments don't give a fucking shit about us, bro. Look at this stripped out duck. I didn't realize he was in the background. Stripped out duck, bro. Fire. Yo, anyways, good stream, guys. Good chat. We ran it for about 2.5 hours. Very cool. I want to see a purple twerking frog now. Bruh. That's a sick duck. Real. Just dripped out for real. He's got a gold chain too. Got a gold chain, gold sunglasses, a nice little sun hat. He's sitting on a little swing. 2.5 hours of just chatting is pretty good. Oh my god, I'm dying. Hold on. Wow. My throat is really dry all of a sudden. What the fuck? Why are you showing up right when I'm ending, dude? What the... Bro. Are you showing... Bro. Literally ending, dude. Yo, Fax, you want to go live or something? Can somebody go live so I can pass them off, bro? Like, holy. I've been ranting for 2.5 hours. Shows up right as I'm about to end. Oh my god. Dude, this is so tragic. This is so tragic. Say less, I'll go live. All right. All right. There you go, Lena. Fax is gonna go live. You can go chill out in there. Why did my stream look like that, bro? The fuck? Interesting. Okay, bye. Bruh, you're not gonna stay around for Fax? I was gonna raid him. You know, I was gonna raid him. You stick around for that. Bruh. Yo, but I was, you know, I was gonna raid, you know, like let's do the whole Twitch raiding thing, you know? Like let's not get ahead of ourselves here. OBS is now on. Okay, let's see here. Oh my god. Yo, I'm just saying, bro. Why are you spamming the rage? We're not even there yet. Relax. Oh my goodness. Captain Fax Machine. Oh my, bruh. All right, there we go. Okay. Now we'll head on over there. My goodness. All right, everybody, hop on in. Hop on in. I'm really glad I got 5 viewers at the last fucking second. But that's cool, man. I'll give them to you, Fax. You can get your affiliate. Yeah, help this man get affiliate while you're over there, man. Watch him for a little bit so we can get his average. Oh, hey, I saw someone leave. Hey, what the frick? Yeah, that's what I thought. Get back on there. All right, here we go. Have fun. Bye. Get out of here. Go. And for the freaking people that stayed behind, kind of cringe. But let's throw in some raid melons up in here. Let's throw in some raid melons here real quick. Refresh that. Oh god, my leg. Hold on, bro. Let me go to facts here real quick. Oh, jeepers. Oh my god, wait, my bro's got a blank screen. Incredible. Yo. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Yeah, go watch him. Go watch him. Alright. Bye.